Hello guys, welcome back to 999. Why are we on the title screen? Well, because we hit a dead end last time, so it's time for a new start. I think this is going to be a deep story video with no escapes, maybe. Because remember, I'll just show it, I guess. We got this, I forgot what it was called. It was like knife and run, or cut and run. But we so I had the question of like, after we finish that ending, there's a bunch of X's and keys and stuff, so I did take the liberty of looking it up. This is like very annoying. That's why I didn't really want to stop, but it's better if we skip a bit. Get the noise out of my ears, okay? Actually, you know what? That makes no sense. Basically, we went here, we got the knife, and I believe to get this ending, we need to get the keys. That was my prediction, so I did end up looking. It's so annoying. I'm sorry, I can't do it. There we go. Stop. Stop talking. Okay, so anyways, I forgot the route we did last time. I didn't mean to press that. I think we went here. We went this way. First class cabin, right? No. This is an experimental episode because we're trying something different, alright? I don't think we did this route. I think we went this route because I wanted the bookmark, which we get from here. Okay, so we went this route. I think we went this route. Operating room. Oh, we definitely did go through the operating room. That is right. That was a fun one. And then we went down here. So I think... So it showed all these keys, and I did read up that basically to unlock this, we do need to clear the keys. And this means that so these are like bonus scenes that we missed, so... So I'm also guessing once we do this stuff, we'll probably have to go through operating room. It's just interesting because I looked at this flowchart, but then I gave up because I couldn't understand what it was saying. But I do remember it's like the 4 things you need to get the ending is like get the bookmark, get the ice thing, which made sense. I guess you do have to go through there. Talk to 7. About the ice thing. And I forgot. Give the bookmark to Clover. But in the route we did, we gave the bookmark to Clover here. And we talked to... Wait. Yeah, we talked to 7 about the ice thing. We did all of those, but we did like all the conditions, but we still didn't get it. So I guess that flowchart's shit. So we'll just basically, but I found a much easier post on Reddit. Don't worry, I didn't get anything spoiled. I just typed in what do lots do in the 999 game. And I just went on some Reddit threads, which were very nice. But this one's like, icons over a segment means that there's a missable scene in that segment. An escape sequence suddenly getting a voice acting is usually a sign that that scene has a key. And X means that you missed that optional scene, and no X means that you did see it. Some keys are obtained by making certain dialogue choices. Some keys are obtained automatically if you fulfilled certain requirements. Don't bother trying to trigger any one key until you've triggered all the ones that come before it. Once you get past the lock, that means you're on a path to an important ending, and you don't need to worry about the keys are locked anymore for that route. So basically, since we went to the middle one, we actually just had to go full middle. Plus, I'm guessing we had to do this path, maybe? It doesn't really say. Apparently we missed a key scene here, which I don't actually know how, but, and I believe the key will light up once we do this scene, so we can just do some trial and error. So it's gonna be a trial and error thing until we get this unlocked, so we can get this good ending. And you're like, Aiden, why don't we do this? Well, we already did all this. We might as well just finish it off, even though it does seem to have, might be like a more true ending. I'm just saying that because it has more squares, but yeah, so that's the plan. Operation, go through the middle, get the keys, unlock the ending. And even though it kind of sounded complicated, it's pretty easy when I put it the way I just did. So this is the 4th and 5th door. It does have the locked one. Okay. I don't even remember the option, to be honest. Isn't it just choosing between the 4th and 5th? Any skippers? Is it because I messed it up on purpose? Because I remember I chose the wrong one just because I chose the right one before. Okay, 8 plus 3 is 11. Plus 11 is 4, right? I am not crazy. Maybe I should be reading this. I'm just kind of like zoning out. But I'm pretty sure we're just deciding teams. And then we can switch the door if we want to, so it's actually not that important. Sometimes I do zone out though. I have to be careful. So we did both of these options before. And I guess maybe we do have to go through the 5th route. Because we did the 4th route before and that was still locked. So maybe the 4th door is wrong, but I thought we did need the bookmark. So maybe it's actually saying that the leftmost path is actually the true ending. But like I said, we're middle gamers right now, so... Also turn off skip. Actually, we don't need to turn off skip. I remember now. I just want to see if it works. See you later. Okay. Flow. It worked! Okay, so this route we do go for 5th. And I guess this route's the one where you'd have to go, well, maybe you can get the bookmark in other places. When do we pair up with Santa again? Laboratory, you pair up with Lotus and Clover. Damn it, I keep pressing back. Right? Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Alright, experiment complete. Can we zoom? I do not remember. Learn about him having super hearing. I do remember that. Oh, I do remember now. I kind of forgot since we didn't do this last time, but there is a safe here that is locked. And we never did come back to it when we went through door 3. So that should probably come back. Maybe that's where the knife comes from, the safe. I guess that would make 7 and Snake more suspicious. Though I'm like so clear on 7, it's not even funny. Yeah, amnesia. So we learn about 7's amnesia early in this route. I'm speed reading, that's why I'm not skipping. Just in case some important scenes we miss out. Outside, we escape. 7 keeps the door open just so we can come back. Casino, Baccarat. Quick one. It's just explaining it. You know, might as well refresh our memory on everything. Just want to be a bit thorough. Recording is fine, by the way. Even though this was explained to me. Actually, I do remember. I understand. I went through that explanation a couple times. Okay. Get me out of here. So we escape the casino. Then we meet up with everyone here after checking the doors are already deactivated. This is where we choose. So I'm guessing we just go through the 8th door. Yes, we do just go through the 8th door. This one isn't a hard decision because we went through the 7th and obviously we don't go through the 3. So let's do that. We're zooming. Your trimmed Lotus. You want door 3? Why is that one highlighted? We went through door 7 last time, I think. Give me the 8th door. So the difference between the 8th door, which see it unlocked, is laboratory with Lotus and Clover. In that scene, when we first did it... Okay, so the first time we did it, we actually went through this route into the middle. So that's why we didn't get any special scene. So I guess that makes more sense. I remember the laboratory being... I don't know what the first scene would be, but I do know Clover wanted to talk to us, but then she chose not to. Even though we did have the bookmark, so it's just not meant to be for this route. But I don't know what the first one would be. I think we like pissed off Lotus. All I remember is Lotus hacking because I remember YouTube took down the thumbnail. And the disrespect to Lotus, even though she is hot. Don't disrespect Lotus. So yes, it's me, Clover, and Lotus. We're hackers. I guess we can just skip. This is going way faster than the than the first time we went through all of it. I guess because we actually did do these options in our first playthrough. Alright, so we enter the laboratory. Oh. Do we have to redo the whole thing? Or can we just do this? Let's try it out. Yeah, we found out the computer's hooked to like a mainframe or something. It's coming back to me. You do learn the hint that she worked. I mean, I already said she's a researcher, but like the contradicting evidence is she said her children were missing, quote unquote missing, which we contest that we actually know because 7 was there that they were part of the experiment. So she's either lying about that or legitimately doesn't know about that. But at the same time, it kind of points like she works to the pharmaceutical company. So kind of all over with Lotus, even though I do think she's not the murderer at the end from obvious clues because she dies. I mean, she could have struck a deal, but yeah. I guess let's assume Lotus does struck a deal, because even though I am like pretty safe on her. It does seem like she might be part of the pharmaceutical. I'm safe because I don't think she's 0, but how would you make 9 with 8 out of 3 numbers? You would need 10. 1 9. If that was really Snake's bracelet destroyed. 2. You can't do 2 8 again. Huh. The Ace and Snake don't really work. Unless Snake is actually dead. Can you do it with 3? 3 plus 8 is 11. You need 7. Santon 7 is not the culprit. I don't know. It doesn't seem like she's... I was snaking, even though that's not, doesn't really work with snakes in this game, but like snaking on everyone else with a team of 3 people. So it's a little reassuring. Don't ban me! YouTube thinks this is too lewd. I guess I can kind of understand. If they're just doing picture recognition, then I guess Lotus's chest area does look pretty centered. Still though, YouTube's been bullying me the past couple of months with thumbnails. They even took down my freaking Takano one from Mina Doroshi. Takano taking that. Actually, I shouldn't really talk about it, but they took down a Takano thumbnail. You might know about it. It's very rude. We learned that she's a pro hacker. Oh wait, Cyber Firm. I don't even remember her actually saying that. Okay. I mean, maybe that could still like be part of the pharmaceuticals, or they could have had like a joint project for it, is possible. And when she like resisted, they like took her children or whatever, and she was either knowledgeable about that, so she had to work for them, or she didn't know about that and they just did it because they were cheesed at her. Okay, cybersecurity firm. I kind of forgot about that. See, it's worth refreshing the memory sometimes, especially when we're doing a bunch of route stuff. Brute force.
暗号を解読するための最も確実で最も想定されるそれを自動で
I'm not a hacker, but I respect the explanation.
ワイヤレスディスプレイのこれってよく考えてみる。例えば今足し算を実行するプログラムをで一致すると画面にはほら不思議だ。あんまり。だけど
Explain.
大昔の人だったらそう思うわよね。わからないかな。1たす1の計算をしたのは誰?
What, at the beginning? Who created math? Oh. Who? Okay. I misunderstood.
でも大昔の人だったらそうは多分このモニター自身が計算で彼らが検証を始めモニターの表面を次に中の基板をウリウリ。なるほど。最後にはこの配線をやっぱりそうだ。ゆえに計算をしているのはこのモニター自身なのだ。
I understand. So even if someone finds something that they're interested in and doesn't fully understand, even if they examine it and like fully, and they think they understand what it does, because it seems obvious, if it's like complex, like wireless stuff, they wouldn't understand. I get it. I understand what you're saying, Lotus.
本当は純平君の言った通り。でも、まさか無線で繋がってるとは。それで別にな。ただ人間と脳の関係も同じなのかもしれない。そう思った。
Okay, I mean, brain stuff, very important to whatever this experiment was 9 years ago. Still not fully sure. It's about brain stuff and ancient mummies. 例えば人間の脳の理論その時研究者はこんな風に言う。
ここを刺激するとこんな風になるほど。ここのよし。試しに。やっぱりそうだ。この部分を切除したゆえに人間の思考活動は脳によって行われているのだ。ね？同じでしょ？
I see. I wanna let you finish though.
人間の脳はただの出力装置。モニターなのかもしれないわ。
Okay, so using the same example, interested in the brain, do a bunch of tests and examine it, see some correlation and assume that's what the brain does. But Lotus is like, oh, what if they're just making assumptions? What if the brain's actually not the thing that produces the whatever, you know? I understand even though I don't know how to explain it as well. Again, it goes, I guess, because they were researching, well, we don't know what they were researching, but they were talking about like brain waves or whatever, waves that we can't see / normally understand, and doing different tests to see how people can like connect their thoughts in sort of an impossible way. I understand the vague connections they're making. I just don't really see the full picture, obviously, because it's kind of crazy. I think this is different. I just realized since we've been doing these key stuff, this might actually be different. Hopefully I didn't miss anything different in door 4 after doing something different. Shit. Yeah, this is definitely different. I don't remember this brain stuff at all when we first did it. I guess we can't go all the way back. So I should be paying attention way more and not skipping. My bad. I didn't realize this was different until I just did now. Because I thought we already read this before. You might have been annoyed. I have been reading it though, even though I haven't been reading it out loud, but I will now read it out loud. Should this? It's not in... Fuck. Fuck, it wasn't a novel. And we can't even see. Oh, okay, we need to flow it back, guys. Oh, we can't flow it back. You know what? I'm just gonna close my eyes and skip it. Skip it, skip it. And we're gonna run it back. Because I feel like I just missed so much. Give me back my thingy. Okay, so yeah, that was new. That was totally new. I guess we should check if there's anything new here. When we chose the 8th door. I'm sorry. That's what I said. I was being kind of derpy. We need to skip this though until we actually get to the choice. Alright, go back to door 8 and turn off skip. Alright, pay attention. This is the same for sure. I do remember this. This is the same? This is the same. This is the same. Alright, just being thorough. Don't want to miss shit. Alright, we're Gucci. We're Gucci. I do want to go back to the brain talk though. That was my bad. I will keep apologize for it because it was my bad. The stuff pre-brain stuff might have been, because this is very, I remember this for sure. The wireless talk, but the brain talk was new. At least I don't remember his little brainstorming thing. Cybersecurity. One more time. Don't look, guys. It's not family friendly. Okay. I don't remember the cybersecurity thing, so it might actually be new too. What kind of job did you have? Okay, let's just start reading here. This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. Lotus's fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and more symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen. Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain. I do remember this kind of, but I'm not sure now. Even as she taught, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little odd. We did just read this, so I will skip through it, but I'll be careful in the future. Just didn't want to miss the novel stuff, because I missed that before and people informed me. I gotta keep my eyes open for the novel switch. Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head. Junpei didn't say anything, not so much because he had no retort. Okay, this is where we stopped. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like this from someone like her. It's not silly. I mean, the idea is silly, that the brain doesn't control the body. But the argument is actually, like, pretty solid. At least the comparison. See, why isn't it all, like, crazy? Maybe that was, like, the indication that we unlocked something new. Because it's not going crazy anymore. Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy. Junpei thought it sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultist religion. But it did seem kind of religious in the coffin room or whatever with the 9 doors. I thought it looked a little chapel-y like. Ooh. Okay, this is new. Because we didn't know about Seven's amnesia before this. Okay, new tech. Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued. It does really make Lotus seem a bit more sus, huh? I don't know. But she dies, so I don't know. It's interesting, but obviously it's like not true, right? I'm not a biologist though.
総合失認症の人だってそうかもしれないし。
ちょっと待て。総合
She does know about diseases. Pharmaceuticals? Just saying. You knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he never heard of the word prosopagnosia. I actually don't know what aphasia is, but I do know what blindsight is.
知らないの？総合失認症。
No? Lotus spun around in a chair to look at him. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
初めて聞いた言葉だ。
簡単に言うと、人間の顔を識別することができない症状のこと。
Ah, I actually did. I do know about that. I remember reading like a webtoon about that a long time ago, where this guy just saw everyone's face as like an egg.
あの人とこの人の顔を区別することができないの。
I did. Okay. I just forgot the word for it, but I do know what that is.
当然、顔を覚えることもできない。
Actually, I've read a couple of stories about that.
知り合いに出会っても、その人が誰なのかわからないの。
It's a very popular topic for good reasons. It's very interesting.
と言っても、大抵は声や服装で判別できるみたいだけどね。
それって人間の顔が全部のっぺらぼうみたいに見えるってことか？
Wonder if this is foreshadowing at all. I feel like I don't really know how that would connect. Snake, he says he's blind, but he really is just blind to people. I don't know. June, because she's freaking weird. I don't know. She is kind of weird.
そういうのとはちょっと違うみたいよ。
No idea though. Obviously not Lotus or Junpei or Seven or Clover, I think. No idea about Santa. No idea about Ace. No. Oh. Oh. Wait, maybe. Maybe Ace? Because remember when we were doing the storage room or warehouse puzzle? And Ace seemed kind of troubled about that really easy puzzle where you just put the cards into the slots. And he's like, how are you going to figure this out? Then Junpei was like, oh, I'll just match the faces with the numbers. And then he's like, oh, you handle that. That could be a hint that he has this disease or whatever. Maybe. I mean, that's probably the closest we have to an actual guess. That's cool, I guess. Anyone else? Can't really think of anyone else. I think we actually literally just said everyone. So, obviously there's no one else. Interesting. New tech. Keep that in mind. I don't know, like, what that actually means for this story, but could be. I think June or Ace is the most sus for that. But I was kind of memeing with Snake, to be honest.
私たちにはどの猿も同じ顔してるように見えるでしょ。別にのっぺら
That
ぼうに
is
見える
true.
わけじゃないけど、それでも一頭一頭区別することはできないはず。
That is true. I agree. Same species, breed, whatever. It is kind of hard to tell unless they're like your pet or something between faces.
長年付き合っている飼育員なら見分けることはできるのにね。まあ、要するにそういうこと。
総合失認症か。そんな症状があったとはな。
Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
何の話だったっけ？
脳はただのモニターなのかもしれないって話。
それって本気で言ってるのか？
まさか半分は冗談よ。
残りの半分は？
そうね。下段かしら。
Adulting. Adulting.
寒いな。
It's kind of funny. Lotus Ma had something rather masochistic to it.
と
Yeah.
にかくただのヨタ話みたいなものだから真に受けないでね。
You said that about the freaking picture thing. I don't trust that. I'll trust you because I like you, but that's
ふっと思
it.
いついたから
Don't
退屈しない
betray
で
me.
言ってみただけ。でももう話す必要はなく、
どうして？
退屈じゃなくなったからよ。
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high, and brought it down on the enter key.
完成したのか。
We're in!
結果が出るわよ。
Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and the line of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
楽勝ね。
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. After a few seconds, accepted disappeared to be replaced with... Yeah. Puzzles.
仕方がないじゃない。キーボード。ほらね。
Alright, that was a fun talk,
どう
Lotus.
することもできないの。
I guess that does excite me. I didn't, for some reason, I just didn't realize that we were gonna get a bunch of new scenes, so... It'd be fun piecing together these key pieces, and maybe we'll figure out something by the time we hit the route change.
というわけだから、淳平くん。あと、何よ。ちょっとぐらい休ませてくれたっていいでしょ。私はきちんとやるべきことはや。
He wasn't sure what to say to that. I feel like this is the same.
さて。
Alright, locker time. What's happening here? It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover! Is she gonna tell us? Please. He put the puzzle aside for a moment and walked over to Clover.
どうしたんだ。
一つ聞きたいことがあって。順平、さっきお兄ちゃんと一緒に5の扉に入ったでしょ。
That's what triggers it, not the bookmark. We did spend some time with Snake this route.
そ
Okay.
の時、何か気になること言ってなかった。
That was a weird sound. I don't even know how I did it. It was sucking air. That was me trying to think, because I don't actually remember. I just remember the time with, at least in the first class cabin, it was just 7 memeing a lot. So I don't remember. Maybe Junpei will say something. Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course, she would have been worried about him.
そうだな。
He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something that would help her. However...
すまんよつば。特に思い当たることはないよ。ただ、人並み外れた聴覚を持ってるとかなんとかって。
We did read that.
そんな話ぐらいしか。
そう。
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
ちょっと待ってくれ。こんなこと聞いていいのかどうかわからないが、もしも差し障りなかったら教えてくれないか。ミルスは、
Oh, I was wondering about that too.
目のこと。
Oh, I was not wondering about that. I was wondering if they're biological. I don't know if they ever confirmed that, but from my memory, they didn't.
そうだ。
But okay, this is also interesting, I guess.
生まれつきじゃないよ。
He was blinded by the incident before, and now he's out for revenge. I
お
don't know.
兄ちゃん、小さい頃事故にあって。
He was blinded by the pharmaceutical company, and now he's out for revenge.
交通事故。
Joke.
それで視力を失っちゃったの。左腕も。
His arm?
お兄ちゃんの左腕は普通の人とは違う。
Huh? I didn't notice that. Also, I guess they are. Well, they've known each other for a long time, so they probably are blood related.
人工的に作られたものなんだ。
Huh. Really? Does that change anything? I don't know. I can't think of anything relating to a fake arm. I guess it depends on left arm. I think the thing's on the right arm, right? Would that like somehow counteract the device? I don't think so. And I'm pretty sure it's on the right arm, so it doesn't really matter. Amputate him. Yeah. I don't... Huh. Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out on Clover. I don't really have any theories about a fake arm, to be honest, right now. Junpei nodded. Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. Clear? We clear. There we go. Key is done. We're a key gamer. 2 more keys. So we leave the lab after it catches on fire. We get a key, don't we? I should keep track of the keys we got, I guess. Did we get a key from I think we got the Saturn key card. I really wish they put it in your inventory, but I guess you don't really use it. No, this is just when we escape and meet everyone. Okay. This isn't too important. Back in the bedroom. It's not too important. It's some people decide to go into door 3. And we go through the 6th door. This is what we just did recently. So we have to go through the engine room and cargo room again, huh? Interesting. Okay, let's just go through it. So apparently the handle is different now. Or the engine room is different. Oh wait, no, that's the title. Oh, I don't know. No, that's just starting the whole puzzle again. We don't need to do that, I think. Even though this puzzle is like super easy. It's not a very hard one to do. But it wasn't very fun for me, and the geography hurts my brain. Handle. Is there anything strange about this scene? Not really. It's just that Ace was counting on Junpei to do it. Which I don't really understand why. So June's still like knocked out. Nothing really happened regarding her. We also don't get the Santa scene? Or do we? With the Santa Claus story? I'm just assuming the only changes to these routes are the key moments, right? It would kind of be cheese if there were different stuff happening, even if you didn't get the key stuff. Just feels a little cheap if it was. Because I can't. Oh, we're in adventure mode! You bastard. He stuck his head over the side of the catwalk and looked down. The bot's had only recently hung just below the catwalk, now sat on the floor. It had come to rest near the end of the tunnel that covered the conveyor belt. June's down by over there. Junpei could see her, still leaning against the wall as if she barely had strength to sit up. Even from so far away, it's not difficult to see that she has not improved. He almost thought he could see heat rising from her body. Alright. Remember the novel. Switch. Ace's expression was inscrutable, but he'd said what they had all been thinking. He tried desperately to convince himself that what he said was true. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same. It's easier to identify since we just did this. Okay, this might be new. No, this is the same. This is the same. Okay, this is new. This is new. I'm hyped. Santa suddenly stopped. About, is it the cannibalizing story of rats? That's the only rat experiment I know, because I recently saw that in an episode of Suits. Well, not recently, but within this month. It is not. Okay, I'm always down for the 999 trivia. It's always interesting.
そのうち上の方の先端の出口を A、下の方の先端の出口を B とする。A の方は真っ暗で、さすがのラットといえども何も見ることができない。一方 B の方には電流が流れていて、実はここから脱出することはできないようになってる。
Okay.
さて、この状態で水槽の真ん中のところにラットを放り込んだらどうなる？ラットは A と B どちらの出口から脱出？
Guessing it's gonna turn out to be A, or they're gonna choose B, even though I would think they would choose A because, you know, rats already like dig through walls, which is pretty dark. But I don't know. Explain it to me, Santa. There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded. That is also true.
その通り、ラットは B へと向かってしまう。ところが今言ったように B には電流が流れている。そこから脱出することはできない。そうして何度も何度も試行錯誤を繰り返しているうちに、やがてようやくラットは A の道を発見することになる。
何のことはない。ただの学習実験の話だな。
いや違う。面白いのはここからなんだ。
Yet.
その研究者は何十匹何百匹というラットを使ってさらに何十世代にもわたり繰り返し何度もこの実験を行ったらしい。すると驚くべき結果が出た。
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it before you said it, Santa. I should have said it, but I was about to say that before you talked. I was like, it just clicked. It's gonna be like, oh, more rats started choosing A because it's similar to that picture we've seen with the dog. It's similar to like everything else where there's some sort of brain waves that travel, the synchronicity, the changes after events have happened. People start adapting without, or things start adapting without them actually knowing about the events happening per se. That stuff. I was trying to call it out. You're lucky, Santa. Like, I understand this idea. Kind of. I understand the basis of what they're saying, because they keep using the same, I mean, it's different examples, but it's the same idea of people doing a thing without knowing. The results are kind of varied, whatever, but as the experiment continues and different people choose, more people are choosing like a singular answer or the right answer if it's a right and wrong scenario, despite not having knowledge of the previous experiments. And then the question is why? Well, what they're saying in this game, at least, or what I'm getting from, is that there's a specific wave that is being transmitted to people's brains subconsciously. Like Lotus says, maybe the brain isn't the one doing the, maybe the brain's just a monitor, and somewhere else we're taking in these waves and the brain's making us act without actually knowing that, like automatically, subconsciously. That's what I'm getting from it anyways, as someone who knows nothing about anything scientific at all. Yes. Yes. Synchronicity.
同じだったってだけじゃない。ラットたちはなんと実験1回目にして続々と最短のクリアタイムを叩き出してしまったらしい。最初の実験で使われたラットたちとは全く血のつながりがないにもかかわらず。
Honestly, it's like, maybe this means Lotus isn't suspicious since literally everyone is making these analogies What's the possibility of a Lotus Santa team up? We did say that. They would need freaking 7. Or they would need like 4 people. How would you make 7? Lotus Santa June Ace. That's a spicy betrayal comp, but it's actually not bad. It really isn't that bad if that is the betrayal team. I think anyways. I don't know though. Or maybe, I mean, it made sense. Santa was invested in the pharmaceuticals, so as a big investor, he probably, they do know, like, they do get to control the direction of the company and know about some of their big plans or whatever, so it's not surprising, but it also just might be some, I don't know, interesting stuff though. Still don't know how this would connect to the mummy though. Maybe they're trying to decipher the mummy's brainwaves to find pseudo-immortality. I don't know what I just said, but I'm just shooting my shot. Don't worry. It kind of is, but it's more of a passive thing, I think. Because, like, it happened once, but it's not like those people who did the experiment are, like, trying to send brainwave signals to the others. It's just happening, like, passively. I like how Ace is questioning it, too. You know? It's good to be skeptical, Ace. I don't know about you. You're a weirdo. I, like, suspect you, but, like, should I have good reason? Mainly my reason is he, like... We just have the least information on him and Snake. Yeah, Snake, technically. And I still suspect him. He might have that disease where he can't tell people apart properly. Maybe. It's kind of weird because Santa is like... When we did the picture with the dot thing, Santa didn't really understand it and was kind of laughing at the telepathy, but now he's like totally fine with this rat experiment thing. Seems sus. Dude, Santa's sus meter is going up for me, and he's still kind of an instigator for a lot of... Like, he likes to lead situations. I don't know, dude. You're sus, Santa. You're kind of on the rise for me. He's also like the right build to be a 0. He's a little scrawny compared to every other male character. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic. Excuse me. I did burp. I did let that slip. I'm usually pretty good at that. I'm too hyped up for this, dude. This is more hype than I thought it would be. Just getting these new... It's like we're getting new scenes, but they're also old scenes, so it lets you get pieces of the puzzle before we get to the ending. Santa stopped and turned around. That is true, kind of. I don't know about anything, but I do know stuff travels faster through water, so maybe they're testing if the brainwaves travel faster through water. I don't know, don't blame me.
電流の流れてる B の向こうに餌か何かを設置しておけばよかったはず。なのにどうして溺れさせる必要があったんだ?
Oh, I just realized also it's kind of a correlation to the ship. It's a correlation to the ship. Oh my god, I just noticed a thing because like the ship is drowning into water. But like I just noticed a bigger correlation after saying that. And then we know a similar experiment happened before. So this means that So it's kind of the same situation. What if this is just a continuation of the experiment where they did it 9 years ago with a bunch of kids? And what if we're subconsciously choosing the right answer? Obviously, I'm not, because we got 2 bad endings. But, like, what if it's something like that where they're testing if we have taken in these brain waves by the children 9 years ago or something? I don't know. I just noticed that it is kind of a correlation. Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh. Oh my god, I remember Emerge from the submarine thing. From door 2 with Seven and Lotus. There's the emergence puzzle before we got to the torture room.
エマージェンシーはわかるよな。緊急事態のことだ。一方、エマージェンスってのは出現、発生のことで、講義ではひらめきのことも表す。
It's a little cryptic, but I understand, kind of.
ひらめき?
So,
in an emergency, what is going to emerge? Inspiration, because you're trying to think of a creative way out of the emergency, I guess.
頭の中のモヤモヤした塊が一つの形を伴って発現する事象のことだ。
つまり、ひらめきは緊急事態によって生み出される。
That's a true statement, kind of. Depends. Yeah, I understand now.
だからラットは溺れさせられたんだよ。ひらめきをもたらすためにだ。
I didn't know the water was continuously going up. I thought they were just in water. It doesn't make sense because they're drowning and it emulates the ship. So it's kind of like possibly the answer is that the ship is one big experiment, like a bigger size to the rat thing. But again, what does that have to do with the mummy stuff? It seems like those are like 2 different plot points, and I can't find the bridge that connects them yet, but I'm sure we'll figure that out in time. I also can't help but notice whenever I load up this game, you kind of see the other 9 characters from the next game, and there is a girl that looks like a mummy. But to be fair, like all the characters on that game looked kind of funky. There's like someone that looked like Albert Einstein and some robots and shit. I don't know what's happening with that, but I do always notice the mummy girl. Is she the mummy from this game? We'll never know. Well, I guess we might know one day. Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Starting to notice that the situation Santa just said is very much like this one. I guess he doesn't know about the experiment a long time ago. He didn't really have that talk with Seven or Clover. Alright. One more key. It's almost an hour. Time flies. I guess we'll just do the key. And then we'll open the lock next episode. Finish this. There might be an escape room, but we'll have a longer one if needed. Or a shorter one. Then we'll have a clean finish to this week. Then we can start on some new territory next week. But let's do this first. I wonder what this is gonna be. It is the 9... Dude, I think it's the 9 photos. That's the most sus moment. But we'll check both of them, even if we get the key. This is the scene I was talking about, that it might be Ace. Because he seemed really sus for some reason. And I was like... My initial idea was like... Why is Ace doing this? My idea was like maybe he was correlating the pictures to something else beside the numbers. And that's why he was having trouble with the idea of Junpei just putting the keys corresponding to their numbers. So I thought he could identify them in a different way. But it might be that if he has the disease, he just can't identify them properly in pictures like these at all. Maybe. Also, Snape's eyes are open in this picture. I just noticed that. His eyes are like perma-closed whenever he saw him. Is that sus? I don't know.
これを箱の正面にあるカードスロットに差し込んでいけば。
Junpei stared at the cards in his hands. Ace peered over his shoulder at them.
どのカードをどの箱に刺せばいいのかわかるのかね。
Junpei gave him a look.
何言ってんだよ。そんなの聞くまでもないじゃないか。写真の人物に割り振られたバングルナンバー、それぞれのカードを差し込んでいけばいいだけだろ。例えば一宮の写真がついたカードだったら1番の箱に、ニルスの写真がついたカードだったら2番の箱にといった感じで。
ああ、なるほどな。
See, he's such a sharp person. That's why this was so sus. I don't understand. Junpei thought he might have imagined it, but he could have sworn Ace stiffened. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence. What? This is totally new.
紫、おい、大丈夫か?
Did she just die? Oh, she touched the fence, right? She did not respond. Junpei spun around to face Ace.
すまん、紫が倒れたみたいだ。
Oh, he's not gonna be able to do it. Ooh, this is spiced.
箱のことは頼んだぞ。この9枚のカードを箱のスロットに差し込んでくれればそれでいい。じゃあ頼んだぞ。
Ooh, this is forcing it. Interesting. Okay. He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June.
大丈夫か? どうしたんだ?
Junpei called out to her as he ran.
あ、おい、起きられるのか?
This is interesting. As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Santa's help.
すみません、大丈夫です。ちょっとつまずいただけですから。
嘘つけ。
In front of an electric fence, I was scared.
本当ですって。そこに転がってた箱に足を取られて。
いいから見せてみろ。
Junpei put his palm on her forehead.
まだ熱があるじゃないか。
Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone.
俺も倒れたところを見てたんだ。確かにつまずいただけだったみたいだぜ。
Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up.
まあその程度で倒れるようじゃ、まだまだ完全に回復したとは言えないんだろうけどな。
June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed, and her face was a bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had. Still.
とにかく一刻も早くここを出て病院に行かないとな。
そんな、病院なんて大げさですよ。薬を飲んでたっぷり眠れば、あっという間にケロッと治っちゃうと思います。
薬か。
Yeah, your pharmaceutical investments.
外部への連絡手段さえありゃ、一宮がすぐにでも手配してくれるんだろうな。
Huh?
一宮が? どうして?
What, you know Ace? Huh?
あ? 知らないのか? あいつ製薬会社の社長なんだぜ。
Huh? Reveal? Big reveal? How he's connected? He's the president? He does not look like a president to me. I guess maybe he actually kind of does with the freaking tracksuit with the neck fully covered. They kind of do appear like that sometimes, huh? Okay, well, we have that connection. It's interesting. I mean, it is super sus, but it also makes me think he's not Zero. Because I have a feeling... I don't know, dude. That's obviously like super sus. Really? Huh. Well, that's interesting. I'm just... Because, like, my kind of idea is... It kind of almost seems like... Well, it's either a continuation... Or it seems like almost revenge against people involved in it. Which, aka Santa's an investor. I guess Ace would be president. Lotus would be like a researcher. I don't really know. I don't know. But that's big. At least we know his connection and it's big. Also, if the pharmaceutical company is actually evil and it's not just like people taking from it, then it's like a super. I don't know. This is a huge piece of information. Holy shit. Anyways, we'll piece it together when we need to. What do you mean you think you made money off them? No way. I am like 90% sure Soperil is what Ace took to knock himself out, which is like a huge red flag. Oh my god. If you actually got this on your first time, if you're lucky enough to remember Soperil, you probably would be going crazy right now, huh? I'm pretty sure that's what he took. And the only reason I remember is that, like, because when I was talking about it, someone kind of corrected me, or was talking about the drug, and, like, when I asked where it came from, or where he found it, they actually, like, name-dropped it, so I'm pretty sure it's Soperil. So, I mean, even though we kind of knew there's already a connection between the company, it seems very sus. I don't know, I'm sus, I mean... Huh. Yeah, he took it. Junpei can shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soperil before. Santa continued. Oh! The Ice Nine stuff. Kind of. It's gas at room temperature, but it's liquid, not in room temperature. So same, like... idea as Ice Nine.
そんな便利なもんだから世界各地の警察や軍で麻酔弾として採用されるようになったんだとか。同情した犯人や敵兵、テロリストなどを無傷のまま制圧することができる。
Interesting.
倫理的人道的観点から見ても極めて有用性の高い理想的な薬品ってやつだ。開発されたのは今から6、7年前だ。
6 years, huh? Not 9? First time name dropping a number that's not 9?
それが公表されてから間もなく、たちまち世界各地の政府機関からオファーが殺到したそうだ。
So it's a sort of a friendly aesthetic, or not aesthetic, you know, knock you out drug. You know, you can use it in the riots without it being bad or hurting people. You can use it in the doctor stuff to knock people out. It's a good drug. So it was 6 years ago. So Santa actually made his money 6 years ago, before after the experiment stuff happened, which is interesting. I kind of assumed that Santa made money like during the time of the experiment, but it seems like, or I guess he could have stopped and then it just skyrocketed 6 years ago. Interesting. He's a big buyer. Santa's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. He's just a suspicious guy. Santa's reply was blunt and simple. Huh.
大階段にあった4の扉、その先の2等船室を探索してた時だ。
Oh, because we went in the first classroom, so he was probably talking to Ace.
お前とニルスとセブンの3人は5の扉の方に入ってきただろう。
But the thing is, we know you were an investor, so I don't know, we need the full conversation, because Santa might be lying, depending on what he says here.
あの時だよ。何気なく職業を聞いてみたら会社を経営してるって答えたから、あとはその流れで今の話になって。
何か気になることでもあるんですか?
It seems kind of, I don't know, I feel like if he did make money off the company, he obviously knew about it, and if he is investing in it, he definitely knew about Soperil, because that's the reason you'd want to invest in the company if it boomed all of a sudden, right? So it does feel like something about Santa's story isn't adding up, which is interesting. Santa? Are you betraying me?
いや別に
As he spoke, Junpei looked over toward Ace.
うん
He still can't do it. Interesting. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes.
何やってんだあいつ
What if he like... You know what would be funny? What if he doesn't have that disease we were talking with Lotus? And what if he like, because he took that medicine, he couldn't remember everyone's numbers anymore? Maybe, that might be an answer. Like his Sopro, he took it and he just lost the memory. But I feel like that wouldn't be part of the effect of it, because like it's pretty popular. And it doesn't really seem that good if it erases memory.
サンタ悪いが彼女を見ててやってくれ俺はちょっと一宮の方に行ってくるなんか手間取ってるみたいだからな
分かった
He gave them both a short nod, then turned and headed toward Ace.
何やってんだよ
Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat.
どうしたんだ
いや疲れのせいか目がかすんでしまってよく見えないんだよ
Huh.
何が
顔写真さ
Ace held the cards to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan.
認めたくはないがあるいは老眼のせいかもしれん
Okay, well he's just admitting it right now.
年は取りたくないものだな
But I thought that wasn't something you... I thought that was like a special condition. Not just something you get when you're growing old. He made the best attempt he could at a self-deprecating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn. I don't know, Ace's whole dynamic kind of just changed now that he's president. It's like super sus, but like super not at the same time. I don't know, now I'm all weirded out. Because he looks like a freaking mobster almost with that coat. I was expecting him to be like some criminal guy, but now I'm confused. I will say the neck thing does look very president-ish. You can imagine like a president of a company like jogging out with a full tracksuit. Seems that's a very normal style. Now that I can imagine some depictions of presidents anyways. CEOs, I guess, is a better way. Look how sad he looks. Poor Ace. Just look at that coat though.
私は疲れたので少し休ませてもらおう
I wonder why. I'm confused. It's like we have answers, but I still can't put the puzzle together. He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically. Yeah. Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear, and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad?
一宮は一体何に戸惑っていたんだ
That was when Junpei remembered what he heard from Lotus much earlier.
総合失認症
Oh, did he? Okay, he did not say what Lotus said. They looked similar. They're big words that start with P. Presobia, whatever. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, as my first guess. Nice, we might have hit the bullet.
簡単に言うと
Hit the bullseye.
人間の顔を識別することができない症状のことあの人とこの人の顔を区別することができないの当然顔を覚えることもできない
Honestly, that makes me think like maybe Ace isn't like a mastermind, because he can't really like reliably team up with someone. Because someone might just scam him or something. I don't know, it's weird.
だから道でばったり知り合いに出会ってもその人が誰なのかわからないの
I guess that, okay.
あいつは総合失認症なのか
That might be why Ace was talking to Santa about his job, because we know Santa knows about the judge. I think he was kind of lying a bit to Junpei, but Ace might just not have recognized Santa, even though Santa was potentially like a big investor. We know he invested and he made a lot of money. I don't know how big of an investor he was, but maybe if Ace actually had proper vision or whatever, he might have recognized Santa. So it's interesting. Santa definitely should know who Ace is. Definitely, since she's an investor. So Santa's sus levels has literally overpassed Ace for me. He is like super sus from this episode. Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs looking quite depressed. Sad Ace hurts my heart for some reason, even though don't really have connections to him. It's just so sad, dude. If he really did have whatever, there's no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it would be best if he keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being. Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back towards the boxes. 9 cards. Okay, this is whatever. I think we can. Alright, that was a very interesting scene. Learned a lot of new stuff. I wonder if Coffin's different, even though we unlocked the key. Might as well just check. Good meme. Gun key. It's interesting because the killers stab us, so they don't actually use the gun at all, which is like very interesting for both the submarine and the knife stuff we had. So I don't know. Kind of takes the sus off of this group, at least for the killings. Or I don't know, whatever. You feel like if they're gonna kill someone, they would probably want to take the revolver. Probably more safer than a knife. Alright. So we got the key. Okay. Well, guys, it's been exciting, but I'm gonna end it here. It's already pretty late. So next time, like I said, we'll unlock this, go through this path. Might be an escape room, might not. It's exciting though. And maybe we got a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And honestly, surprisingly, even though Ace has been like super sus to me for like a lot of the story, I think Santa has gone up over him in my sus meter. So interesting stuff. Let's stop here just to save it up. So yeah, next episode we will get a new ending. I'm guessing it's not gonna be a bad ending since we did all the key stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching as always. I will see you next time. Will we survive finally? Hopefully. Yay. Anyways, yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.